Welcome back to Mr. A Stories. Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that electricity has completely vanished from the world. Your phone doesn't work, your car won't start, the internet is gone, ATMs are useless, trains have stopped, and within days, millions of people begin realizing that modern civilization is hanging by a thread. Today's movie is Survival Family, and it tells the story of one ordinary family forced to survive after the modern world suddenly stops working. Let's begin. Our story takes place in Tokyo, Japan, one of the most advanced cities on Earth. Every day, millions of people depend on electricity without even thinking about it. Phones connect families, computers run businesses, trains move entire cities, everything seems perfectly normal. Among these millions of people is the Suzuki family, an average family living an ordinary life. The father works long hours and rarely spends time at home. The mother takes care of the family and household responsibilities. Their teenage son prefers spending time alone. Their daughter is obsessed with her phone and social life. Like many modern families, they live together but rarely connect with one another. Everyone is busy, everyone is distracted, and nobody realizes that their entire world is about to collapse. One morning, the electricity suddenly goes out. At first, nobody is concerned. Power outages happen occasionally. People assume everything will be fixed soon. But after several hours, something feels wrong. Phones stop working, televisions remain black, the internet completely disappears, even battery-powered devices begin failing. Confusion spreads across Tokyo, nobody understands what's happening. Then an even bigger problem appears. Cars stop working, everywhere, drivers turn their keys and hear absolutely nothing. Thousands of vehicles become useless pieces of metal. Roads quickly fill with abandoned cars. Traffic completely collapses, public transportation stops, trains stop moving. Subways shut down, buses disappear, millions of people suddenly find themselves trapped. The city has never experienced anything like this before. As night falls, people still expect answers. But none arrive. Government officials seem confused. News stations can't broadcast. Communication networks are dead. Nobody knows what caused the disaster. And nobody knows how long it will last. The next morning arrives. Nothing has changed. Then another day passes. Still nothing. A week later, the situation has become terrifying. Supermarkets are overwhelmed by desperate shoppers. People buy everything they can carry. Shelves empty within hours. Fresh food becomes difficult to find. Water becomes increasingly valuable. Long lines form outside every store. Arguments break out. People begin fighting over supplies. The comfortable world everyone knew is slowly disappearing. The Suzuki family watches the situation grow worse every day. At first they remain calm. They still have some food at home. But supplies continue shrinking, and replacement supplies never arrive. Without fuel and transportation, delivery trucks cannot operate. Food shortages spread throughout the city. The father begins realizing something important. Tokyo cannot survive like this forever. Millions of people depend on resources constantly entering the city. Without those resources, disaster is inevitable. One evening, he gathers his family together. He explains that staying in Tokyo may no longer be safe. At first, nobody wants to leave. Everything they own is here. Their home is here. Their lives are here. But eventually reality becomes impossible to ignore. The city is collapsing. Food is disappearing. And nobody knows when things will improve. Then the father remembers his elderly parents living in southern Japan. Unlike Tokyo, rural areas have farms, food production, fresh water. Perhaps survival will be easier there. The journey will be extremely difficult, but it may be their only chance. After much discussion, the family agrees. They will leave Tokyo. The next few days are spent preparing. They gather food, water, clothing, camping supplies, anything useful. Since cars don't work, bicycles become the best transportation available. The family manages to secure bicycles and prepares for the long journey ahead. On the morning of their departure, everyone feels nervous. They look around their apartment one final time. Nobody knows if they'll ever return. The daughter quietly stares at her room. The son looks uncomfortable. The mother tries to remain positive. The father hides his fear behind determination. Then they leave. Outside, Tokyo barely resembles the city they once knew. Thousands of abandoned vehicles line the streets. Many stores are closed. People wander around searching for supplies. The atmosphere feels tense, uncertain. The family climbs onto their bicycles and begins moving south. Their survival journey has officially begun. The first days of travel are exhausting. The roads are crowded with other families escaping the city. Everyone is searching for safety. Everyone is searching for food. Everyone is hoping someone else has answers. But nobody does. The family quickly learns that traveling without modern technology is far more difficult than expected. There are no GPS systems, no phone maps, no internet, no way to check weather forecasts. Every decision depends on paper maps and guesswork. Even finding a place to sleep becomes a challenge. At night they search for abandoned buildings, shelters, and safe places to rest. The comfortable lives they once enjoyed already feel like distant memories. As the days pass, tensions begin growing. The son complains constantly. The daughter misses her friends and old life. The father becomes frustrated. The mother tries keeping everyone together. Several arguments break out. At one point the family nearly turns against each other. Stress is affecting everyone. Hunger is affecting everyone. Fear is affecting everyone. But despite their problems, they continue moving forward. Because stopping is not an option. Eventually they reach rural communities far away from Tokyo. And what they see surprises them. Unlike city residents, many farmers seem less affected by the disaster. They still grow crops. They still have access to food. Life is harder, but not impossible. The family begins understanding an important lesson. Technology made life easier, but it also made people dependent. The farther they travel from the city, the more obvious this becomes. Communities help one another. People share resources. Neighbors work together. Survival depends on cooperation rather than convenience. For the first time since the disaster began, the family starts feeling hopeful. Maybe they really can survive. Maybe reaching southern Japan is possible after all. But they have no idea that the hardest part of their journey is still ahead. The Suzuki family continues their journey across Japan. Every day becomes more difficult than the last. The excitement of leaving Tokyo has completely disappeared. Now there is only exhaustion. Their food supply continues shrinking. Their bodies ache from traveling long distances every day. And nobody knows exactly how much farther they still have to go. Yet despite all the hardships, something unexpected begins happening. The family is becoming closer. Before the disaster, they barely spent time together. The father was always working. The children were always distracted by technology. Everyone lived in separate worlds. But now, they depend on one another for survival. And that changes everything. As they continue south, they encounter more people adapting to the new reality. Money is becoming less important. Food has become the most valuable resource. People trade supplies instead of cash. Skills are often worth more than possessions. The family witnesses communities creating entirely new ways of living. For the first time, they realize humanity may actually survive this crisis. The world hasn't ended, it has simply changed. One day, their bicycles begin causing problems. The roads are rough, the equipment is wearing out, and the family is running low on energy. Travel becomes slower and slower. Some members begin struggling to keep up. The father realizes they need another solution if they hope to reach their destination. Eventually they reach a coastal area. Here they discover that some fishermen are still operating small boats. Unlike modern ships that rely heavily on advanced systems, these smaller boats can still function. This gives the family a new opportunity. Instead of traveling entirely by land, they may be able to continue part of their journey across the water. The decision is risky. The sea can be dangerous, but staying where they are is equally dangerous. After discussing their options, they decide to continue. The family boards a small vessel and leaves the shoreline behind. For the first time in weeks, they feel a sense of relief. The ocean journey is not easy, but it allows them to avoid many of the obstacles covering the roads. As they travel across the water, they look back at the world they once knew. A world built on technology. A world that vanished almost overnight. During the journey, the father reflects on everything that has happened. Before the disaster, he believed his job was the most important thing in his life. He spent countless hours working. He rarely paid attention to his family. Now, after weeks of hardship, he understands how wrong he was. The people sitting beside him are the most important part of his life. And he nearly lost the opportunity to appreciate them. The disaster has changed him completely. The son has changed as well. At the beginning of the story, he was immature and dependent on modern comforts. Now he has become responsible. He helps carry supplies. He supports his family. He faces challenges without complaining. The difficult journey has forced him to grow up. The daughter undergoes a similar transformation. The girl who once cared only about her social life and smartphone has discovered inner strength. She learns to adapt. She learns patience. She learns survival. The disaster has taken away many things. but it has also revealed strengths they never knew they possessed. Eventually the family reaches another community. Here they find people who have adjusted surprisingly well. Gardens are growing, food is being produced, people are helping one another. Life is far from comfortable, but it continues. The family spends some time recovering and gathering supplies before continuing the final stage of their journey. For the first time since leaving Tokyo, they begin believing they might actually succeed. Weeks have passed since the blackout began. The modern world still shows no sign of returning. Electricity remains absent, communication remains impossible, yet somehow humanity keeps moving forward. People adapt, people survive, people find new ways to live. This realization becomes one of the film's most important messages. Human beings are incredibly resilient. Even when everything changes, they find ways to continue. The final stretch of the journey pushes the family to their limits. They are exhausted, hungry, emotionally drained, but now they have something they didn't have before: hope, and hope keeps them moving forward. Every mile brings them closer to their destination. Every day brings them closer to safety. Finally, after weeks of struggle, sacrifice, and determination, the Suzuki family reaches the area where the father's parents live. The emotional weight of the moment is overwhelming. They have traveled hundreds of miles. They have survived a disaster that destroyed modern society. And somehow, against all odds, they made it. The reunion is emotional. For the first time in a long time, the family can finally rest. Their journey is over, but the lessons they learned will stay with them forever. As the movie approaches its conclusion, we see how different the family has become. The father values his loved ones more than ever. The mother has proven herself stronger than anyone expected. The son has matured into a responsible young man. The daughter has learned that happiness doesn't come from technology. The disaster transformed every member of the family. In many ways, they became better people because of it. The film ends by showing that life continues. The world may never return exactly to the way it was before. But people adapt, communities rebuild, families grow stronger, and humanity moves forward. The blackout forced society to rediscover something it had forgotten: the importance of family, the importance of community, and the importance of appreciating the simple things in life. Because everything we depend on can disappear far faster than we imagine. Ending, and that's the story of Survival Family. A unique survival movie that doesn't focus on monsters, zombies, or war. Instead, it asks a simple but terrifying question: what would happen if electricity suddenly disappeared forever? If you enjoyed this movie recap, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Mr. A Stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss another amazing story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next movie recap.